the reverse of the placebo effect is known as the nocebo effect. And it's basically when you're convinced, when you have very limiting belief system based on fear, based on survival, and based on worst case scenario, then you're going to attract an experience that is matching your thoughts, that is matching your belief system. Hi everyone, this is Kevlan. I'm a healer and a teacher, and in today's video I want to talk about health to help you get back to your health and take your power back when it comes to health in general. So I want to share my perspective, my experience, as well as my knowledge when it comes to what it means to be healthy and what we can do on a everyday in your daily life in order to get your health back. So health, and when we think of health, we usually think of our physical state and how we feel in our body, and whether or not we have vitality, energy, or if we feel good overall. But health is much more complex than that. In the fact that, and I shared in many videos in the past, I talked about the different layers that we have. We have the physical layer, and then we have all this biofield around us, this energy body with different layers. So when I talk about health, from my perspective, I talk about the holistic approach of health. So meaning the physical health, the energetic health, but also the mental and the emotional health, and even beyond. So in this video, I just want to talk about specifically the physical part of it, as well as the emotional and mental, and I'm just going to share my perspective and experience and what you can do for every different level to get your power back and get your health back. So if I start with the physical aspect, the physical layer, in the 1850s, in the 1800s, I'm sure you've heard of Louis Pasteur. Louis Pasteur came up with a theory that is known as the germ theory. And in this theory is all about something external that we call a bacteria, a fungus, a virus that is attacking us in order to make us sick. So basically, since the last 200 years, we've been looking at health as something external, or like an external threat that will just knock out the balance or the health state that we have. And it's kind of the luck of the draw, whether or not you're going to get sick or whether or not you're going to be attacked by this external threat. At the same time, during the 1800s, we had another French scientist that lived during the same time as Louis Pasteur, and this French scientist was known as Antoine Béchamp. And Antoine Béchamp came up with a very different theory about health, and very different theory than what Louis Pasteur mentioned, and the one that we just kept using for the last 200 years. So Antoine Béchamp is known as the terrain theory. So the terrain theory states that in a balanced internal environment, internal state, a disease cannot exist. So basically, the germs or the bacteria, the virus, and whatever you want to call it, are not responsible for a disease, but are a consequence of an imbalanced terrain or an imbalanced internal state. And I like to give you an analogy. So if you look at nature, and if you look at a river, for example, when the water is flowing, when the water is running, the water is pure, the water is clear, there is no bugs, there is no garbage, there is no toxins in general. But when the water stops flowing, we call that a swamp. And if you go to a swamp, you will probably, they will have a smell, you will notice a lot of bugs and mosquitoes, you will notice maybe garbage, and so on and so forth. So that's, the bugs or the mosquitoes are not responsible for the swamp. They are just attracted to the swamp in order to play a vital role in nature. So they will just feed on the decay, on the toxins in the water in order to eliminate, because the water cannot flow and cannot eliminate the toxins. So basically nature is so it is so sophisticated, but at the same time it's so simple that bugs will just come and feed on the toxins and the decay in order to eliminate what the water cannot eliminate. So this is exactly what's happening within our body. We have a fluid that we call the lymphatic system, the lymphatic fluid. So we have the blood, which is known as the kitchen. So the blood is delivering nutrients, minerals, and so on and so forth into the cells, into different organs and different parts of the body. And then we have the lymphatic system, which is known as a sewer system, responsible for carrying all the toxins, the byproducts, and so on and so forth, and to the eliminative organs so that they can be expelled by the body. The problem is, due to our lifestyle and the way we eat, the way we are surrounded by toxins, this lymphatic system is not moving anymore. It's stagnant. And when it's stagnant, then it means the body can't expel and eliminate all this toxin that we keep ingesting due to our lifestyle. And as this toxin is building up, what is the body going to do? The body is going to use bacteria, is going to use virus, is going to use all of those type of germs in order to feed on the actual decay, on the actual toxins, to break them down even further so that they can eventually be eliminated by the body. You see, health is a state of equilibrium. And what happens when you knock out a pendulum out of the state of equilibrium, which is in the center? The pendulum is going to try and is going to go swing back left and right in order to go back little by little to the state of equilibrium, which is in the center. Our body, the state of equilibrium for our body is health. So if you knock out the body out of balance, out of health, then the body is going to try everything it can in order to go back to a state of equilibrium, a state of homeostasis. So everything that you see is really compensation strategy in order for the body to go back to a state of health. So if there is so much toxins within us, the body is going to try its best in order to eliminate or try different mechanism in order to eliminate all the toxins that cannot be eliminated due to our lifestyle. So that's really what it is when we call a state of disease. The medical system has been called the state of disease, which is basically they just put a name to a set of symptoms. You usually go see a doctor, they ask you what you have, and based on the set of symptoms, they're going to say, oh, this is what you have, and they're going to put a name behind a set of symptoms. But the symptoms are not the disease. The symptoms are just a compensation strategy or just a mechanism triggered by the body in order to eliminate all the toxins we have within us in order to go back to a state of internal, a balanced internal state. So that's why when we, have flu, we have, when we are sick, usually we have all this mucus coming out, like when we're coughing, or from the lungs, or from the skin with a fever, or from, the bowel, and so on and so forth. It's really the body trying to eliminate all the toxins we have accumulated. So what it means is that now I'm going to give you some maybe best practices in order for you to help your body to go back to regeneration instead of degeneration. First off, it's all about nutrition, and I will make an entire video talking about nutrition because there's so much to say about that. There's so many information everywhere, and it's very confusing and very hard to understand what are we supposed to eat in order to promote this balanced internal state within us. So nutrition is very important, and right now all I'm gonna say is if you can eat as much as possible organic, fresh, whole food and raw, you will help your body to get all the minerals it needs in order to stay or in a state of balance, or in order to promote this internal state of balance. Then you have grounding. We've been living with shoes and we don't touch the earth anymore, or the soil anymore, and we've been disconnected from nature. So as much as you can, if you can practice grounding regularly, that will really help you with inflammation, that will really help you with getting all this energy from the planet, from earth, in order to help you maintain this internal state, this state of balance. And if you live in a cold country, you can buy some grounding sheets or grounding mats to practice and help you with grounding practices as much as you can. Then there is the sun. I know we've been led to believe that the sun is our enemy. The sun, causes disease, causes cancer. But again, this is just a way for us to stay in an unbalanced state and in a state of disease. So as much as you can, just get life. Sun is life. Just get outside and get some sun. Take off your sunglasses. Don't put sunscreen and just get some sun. Half an hour a day, whatever it is, but just get some sun. Super, super important. Another practice is obviously exercise. We've been, like lots of people have been talking about exercise for years now, and science also promoting it. And exercise is important because I was talking about this lymphatic system, this lymphatic fluid, and what mechanism can help to really help move again this lymphatic fluid that we have is exercise. When we are able to move our body, and I'm sure it happened to you, but sometimes when I go hiking for 4 hours and when I'm hiking, I'm actually moving my body, sometimes I have all this mucus and my nose is constantly like expelling, and I have to blow my nose very regularly. It's just because this state of movement allows my lymphatic system to move again and then help the body to expel what it needs to be expelled. So super important. So that's pretty much what it is on the physical side. Obviously there is more practices, but this video will last for too long. So in a nutshell, that's what it is. What I want you to understand is disease is an internal state, and it's not because you don't have any symptoms that you're not in a state of disease. State of disease is all about the accumulation of toxins that we have, the toxicities that we have, and that will knock out the internal state, the balance that we have within us, which will then create which will then trigger and the body to expel in an attempt to expel all those toxins that we have and that are preventing the body from working optimally. Then when it comes to health, and as I said initially, there is all the layers, and another one is emotional layer. The way we think and the way we feel is very important, and it can be beneficial for our health or can be adverse for our health. And I made an entire video talking about repressed emotion and specifically the emotional state. So I invite you to check it out. I just left the link down below, and also you can see above the video. But basically, in a nutshell, there are some emotions that are not meant to be felt for a long period of time, and that's the emotion that we call the contracting emotions. So the lower frequency emotions such as fear, such as stress, such as anxiety, anger, so on and so forth. So all these emotions are only meant to be felt for a short period of time, only meant to be felt and giving us a message about something we need to understand and something we need to let go. But when we feel those emotions for too long due to our trauma, due to different situations and how we just respond to an external stimuli or external experience, is going to affect our health in the long run. It's very known that stress affects or inhibits the immune system and affect the body to really start creating or trying to remove all those toxins and creating an environment to really remove the toxins. So emotional state is very important and will affect your state of disease or your state of health. And I think the most important practice here is really to work towards your repressed emotion. It's very important to analyze and to the body will always express what the mind suppresses. So when we have pain, sometimes it's also due to stuck emotions or really trapped emotions or repressed emotions that needs to be felt to be released. We cannot release an emotion if we don't feel it. An emotion is energy in motion. And when we stop moving the energy because we don't want to feel it, because it's too painful, it's too challenging, then the energy will be stuck and create a dam or create a swamp, an energetic swamp within us that will create eventually a state of disease and pain. So it's very important to work to work towards really releasing those emotions, those repressed emotions that we've been keeping for a very long time. And I invite you to check out the video where I really give you some modalities and techniques you can use in order to release those emotions. And the last aspect I wanted to mention in this video is on the mental layer. And I want to go back to the Second World War, to Henry Beecher. Henry Beecher is the father of what we call the placebo effect. So during the Second World War, when they were very short with morphine, all the soldiers that came in and needed to be healed or to be worked on, and they were short in morphine, so what they gave is they gave a saline solution instead of morphine, but they didn't tell the soldier that it was a saline solution. They told the soldiers it was morphine. And what they found is that half of the soldier that received the saline solution had the same effect as the other soldiers that received morphine. So it's just to tell you the power of the mind. And as a matter of fact, we're going to get to an era where we're going to understand that everything we experience in our life is coming from the mind. The mind, as I mentioned in previous video, is the projector of our reality. So based on belief system, we're going to attract an outcome that will manifest, that will match the belief system that we have. So if you are convinced that this solution is morphine and this solution is going to help you, then guess what? You're going to manifest and attract an outcome that will match whatever you believe. And those soldiers believed that it was morphine, and they were so convinced it was morphine that they manifested the state of the healing state or the painless state as if they were receiving the real morphine. Now, what you have to understand is your placebo effect can work or help you towards your health, but it can also help you or work against your health. And that's why it's very important. The reverse of the placebo effect is known as the nocebo effect. And it's basically when you're convinced, when you have very limiting belief system based on fear, based on survival, and based on worst case scenario, then you're going to attract an experience that is matching your thoughts, that is matching your belief system. So if you believe you are in a state of disease, or if you're afraid of being sick, or if you believe that you don't deserve to be healthy and you need to be sick, and so on and so forth, guess what? You're not going to be healthy. You're going to create a state of disease. So, and one of the modality you can use, and again, I talked about the mental layer in a previous video. You can see with a link above, and I put it in a description down below as well, is really being the observer. What are you thinking of every single day? Do you have an intention towards your health? Are you thinking, or do you picture yourself as healthy so that you can manifest these states of being? Or are you always constant stress or constant fear of being sick, or because you have maybe disease and sickness running in your family, and you think you don't deserve to be healthy, and eventually you're going to get sick? So it's all going back to being the observer and understanding that your mind is really a projector of what you're going to experience in your reality. So change your mind, change your life. Change your mind, change your energy, change your life. Change your belief system, change your life. So you need to work towards this belief system and understanding that you have the power to regenerate your body if you believe in it, if you're convinced about it. You know, it's no surprise that when a cancer patient goes to see a doctor in final stage, and the doctor says you only have 3 months to live, and guess what? The patient is so convinced that they only have 3 months to live based on what the doctor told them, that they're going to live for 3 months and then they're going to die. But what if you can give them hope? What if you can tell them that no matter how is your current state of being, you can change it. Your body can self-heal no matter what you have, no matter desperate your situation is, no matter desperate your condition is, you can regenerate and you can change this. But again, you need to convince yourself about it. You need to believe in it. You need to believe in this outcome in order to manifest it, in order to change your disease state into a healthy state. If you want to know more about these topics, I invite you to check my past videos when I talk about the mental layer, the emotional layer, and what to do and what you can incorporate in your daily life, because health is a lifestyle. It's not about doing one thing, it's really a lifestyle. And I also invite you to check out my book on Amazon, The Science of Breaking Free. I'll leave the link down below in the description. If you like this video, please share it with your friend and family. Subscribe to my channel, a thumb up it will always help with the algorithm. And if you are interested in learning more about nutrition, I will talk about that in a future video. So I invite you to again subscribe so that you can be informed on when the video is going to be released. In the meantime, I wish you well and I wish you health.